Imagine being captured by your enemies, tortured relentlessly for over 40 days. Your skin peeled off, your eyes gouged out, your tongue cut off, and yet you refuse to surrender. This is the true story of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, a warrior, a king, and a man who faced one of the most brutal executions in history. The recent movie Chaava barely scratched the surface, because what actually happened was far, far worse. This is the dark truth behind Chaava, what the movie didn't show. Before we get to the horrifying details of his death, let's talk about who he was. Sambhaji Maharaj, son of the great Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, a fearless warrior, a strategist, and one of the biggest threats to the Mughal Empire. At just 9 years old, he was trained in warfare. By 14, he had already fought in major battles. By 25, he ruled the Maratha Empire. And by 31, he would meet the most gruesome fate imaginable. February 1689, a cold, silent night. Sambhaji and his advisor, Vicky Kaushal, were resting near Sangameshwar when they were betrayed. Ganoji Shirke, his own brother-in-law, sold him out to the Mughals. Aurangzeb's men stormed in. Sambhaji fought, but they were outnumbered. He was captured, and from that moment, his 40-day nightmare began. For over a month, Aurangzeb tortured Sambhaji, trying to break him, trying to force him to convert to Islam and bow before the Mughal Empire. But Sambhaji Maharaj refused, so they made him suffer in ways that are beyond imagination. Day 1, he was whipped mercilessly with metal-tipped whips, tearing his skin apart. Day 3, they put hot iron rods on his body, burning his flesh. Day 5, he was denied food and water, left to starve in chains. His fingernails were ripped off one by one. But Sambhaji did not beg for mercy, so they took it further. Day 20, they gouged out his eyes. Day 25, they cut off his tongue so he could never speak again. Day 30, they slowly peeled the skin off his body while he was alive. Yet, through all of this, he did not surrender. He did not bow. He did not beg. He did not convert. And this enraged Aurangzeb. On March 11th, 1689, Aurangzeb gave the final order. Sambhaji Maharaj was taken to the Mughal camp in Tulapur. His body was broken, his flesh torn, but his spirit remained unshaken. And then came the final act of cruelty. They hacked his body into pieces. They cut his head off and threw his remains into the river to erase his legacy. But history never forgets warriors like him. Sambhaji Maharaj didn't just die. He became a legend, a man who faced death with unbreakable courage. Aurangzeb thought he could erase Sambhaji Maharaj from history, but today, over 300 years later, his story still inspires millions. The movie Chaava showed parts of his struggle, but the truth was even darker, more brutal, and more legendary. This was the real story of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj. Now tell me, what do you think about his story? And which movie's real story should we cover next? Let us know in the comments. This is Real to Real, uncovering the hidden truths behind movies.